was all for her?
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the most iconic relationships where superheroes are romantically linked to more than one character, whether in live action or comic books.
It's someone else, isn't it? Harvey. Just tell me it's not Wayne. The guy's a complete...
What are you doing?
Number 20. Vision, Scarlet Witch, Wonder Man. As if dating between superheroes isn't hard enough, try untangling a relationship between a sentient android, a hex witch, and a former villain. Yeah, you could say things got messy. Scarlet Witch and Vision have always been each other's de facto love interest, and have several self-tied miniseries to prove it.
We have said goodbye before, so it stands to reason.
We'll say hello again.
But that didn't stop Wonder Man from trying to win Scarlet Witch's affection when they all served together on the West Coast Avengers. In a glimpse of his villainous side, he even once tried to keep Vision offline so he'd have Scarlet Witch all to himself. She rebukes all of Wonder Man's advances, but the three have remained on very awkward footing ever since.
You must come back to us, to me.
Wanda? Sorry, I did not mean to intrude.
I was just checking on Wonder Man.
Number 19. Black Canary, Batman, Green Arrow. Throughout most of comic history, the leather-clad Black Canary has only cried for one partner, Oliver Queen, aka Green Arrow.
Hey, you gonna get all serious on me?
You bet.
They're paired together as often as Superman and Lois Lane, Spider-Man and Mary Jane, Ant-Man and the Wasp. I mean, you get the point. So you can imagine the fan reaction when Canary started locking lips with Batman of all people. Who knew the Caped Crusader was such a homewrecker, right? Their romantic adventures are usually nothing more than a quick fling, but something tells us Oliver wouldn't like it either way. Luckily, no matter the continuity, Black Canary usually ends up in her rightful spot next to Green Arrow.
Yes, the answer is yes.
Number 18. Human Torch, Medusa, Crystal. The only thing hotter than Johnny Storm's powers is this scandal. At one point in time, both the Human Torch and Medusa were separately spoken for. Johnny to the Inhuman Crystal and Medusa to Black Bolt. But when both of those relationships hit a rough patch, the newly single heroes take solace with each other.
Listen, why don't you let me help? You trust me. After all, I did let you escape back at the warehouse.
The issue? Crystal, Johnny's ex, is actually Medusa's sister. As a general rule of thumb, it's best not to date your ex's sibling, especially if they both have superpowers. When Crystal discovers who Medusa is seeing, it leads to an emotionally charged standoff that nearly tears the sisters apart. Next time, Johnny, cast that net a bit wider.
Foolish child! You know it is forbidden for Inhumans to mingle with outsiders.
You got a problem, Pally? You take it up with me.
Number 17. Deadpool, Thanos Death.
What are you doing here? Why are we dancing?
You've bled out, my love. And now we're together. As always, our time is short.
You heard that right. Deadpool and Thanos quite literally fight over who gets to be with the abstract entity, Death. Only in comics, right? To be fair, in most issues, Death takes on the form of a very flirty woman. It's enough to make both Deadpool and Thanos fall head over heels. But never the one to share, Thanos gives the merc with a mouth immortality, so he could never meet death again. In fact, in some continuities, Thanos wipes out half of the universe as a grand show of affection for his beloved. Deadpool is predictably more about the quips, but either way, neither have earned more than a few kisses.
You've done more than you know. Don't speak. Just kiss me.
Number 16. Raven, Beast Boy, Terra. As they say, opposites attract. In the Teen Titans, that means Beast Boy and Raven. Not that you'd be able to tell by looking at them. Since Raven has to constantly keep a lid on her emotions, she can't reciprocate Beast Boy's unsubtle advances. However, that becomes a lot harder when Terra enters the picture and immediately woos the beastly hero.
So what's an attractive, decent-smelling girl doing with Beast Boy? I guess I like how trusting he is. I mean, he's really, really trusting.
Jealous isn't usually a word people use to describe Raven, but that's the only way to explain her coldness towards the Titans' newest member. By the time Terra betrays the team, this tragic love story has given two broken hearts for the price of one.
What did you do to her, Raven? Banished her to another dimension. You're welcome. But she was just about to tell me how she felt.
Number 15. Tony Stark, Pepper Potts, Maria Hill.
You tell me you never think about that night.
What night?
You know.
The original love triangle in the Iron Man comics actually involved Pepper, Tony, and his personal assistant, Happy Hogan. Pepper would eventually marry Happy, although Tony would remain attracted to her over the years. Tony has also had a working relationship with Maria Hill, particularly during the Civil War miniseries, and the two would eventually get together during the Dark Reign storyline.
Hey, I admit it. My fault. Sorry.
While Pepper and Happy are never romantically linked in the films, there was a bit of tension between Pepper, Tony, and a new character, Maya Henson, in Iron Man 3. Number 14. Dick Grayson, Barbara Gordon, Starfire. The one you have more in common with, or the one who's drop-dead gorgeous? Also, one of them is orange. This was the choice that Dick Grayson faced. Dick falls for Barbara Gordon as Batgirl almost immediately, but she brushes him off because of his age.
I guess all the speed and danger helped take me out of myself, made the pain go away. You wouldn't understand.
They would eventually become a couple and remain so even after Barbara was paralyzed by the Joker. Complicating the relationship, however, was the emergence of the sizzling Starfire.
Maybe a hero isn't all that I am. Maybe we could be...
Robin?
Starfire?
Stop talking.
Dick and Starfire are even nearly married at one point, and in an alternate universe, have a daughter together named Nightstar. Number 13, Superman, Lois Lane, Wonder Woman.
Are you free later?
If I can find my glasses.
It feels like sacrilege to imagine Clark Kent with anyone other than Lois Lane. Superman, on the other hand, that's a different story. Clark's dual life means that in certain story arcs, he ends up spending a lot of his personal time with Wonder Woman. While his heart is always set on Lois in the end, it's hard to compete with a godlike superhero. Plus, with how often they save the world together, it's only natural they start to develop intense feelings. And, kiss a few times, just for good measures. Lois fans don't need to worry though. At this point, there are enough Elseworld stories to make everyone happy.
Tell Lois I'll see her Friday.
Friday?
What is it?
Worlds colliding.
Number 12, Batman, Talia al Ghul, Catwoman.
We've done this dance for so long. Aren't you just the least bit curious?
Despite his idealistic pursuit of justice, the Dark Knight is frequently linked to two of the most, let's say, morally gray characters in the Batman canon. And by linked, we mean he's kissed Selena Kyle's Catwoman in more comic books than we can count. But she isn't the only one Batman's seeing on the weekends. The heiress of the League of Assassins, Talia al Ghul, has also made her way under Bruce Wayne's mask on more than a few occasions.
What's to become of me then? Am I to be your prisoner?
He really has a type, huh? Given both Catwoman and Talia's track record, you can only imagine the fireworks whenever they butt heads. For Gotham's sake, fingers crossed they keep things cordial next time. Number 11, Rogue, Magneto, Gambit. Because of mutation that causes her to absorb the abilities of anyone she touches, Rogue spends most of her life in a self-induced exile. But that doesn't stop her from becoming the center of a juicy love triangle. Despite his playboy tendencies, Gambit turns over a new leaf and commits to sweeping Rogue off her feet. And it works.
Gambit loves you.
For years, actually. Sadly, their relationship isn't all sunshine and rainbows. In some storylines, Rogue becomes enamored with the antagonist Magneto, whose mastery of metals lets them share more intimate moments. They even have a kid together at one point. Notably, this love triangle isn't just plain attraction. It's a full-blown debate on mutant politics, too.
We always kiss the bridesmaids, too.
This ain't Cajun country, hun. Zip those lips.
Number 10, Spider-Man, Mary Jane Watson, Black Cat. With great power also come great love interest, apparently. To prove it, Peter Parker has a certified web of romantic options to choose from. On one side, there's Mary Jane Watson, the classic girl next door type. On the other, there's Black Cat, the very definition of a dicey anti-hero.
I missed you. Glad we're back together again.
Not like that.
They both have their fans, and for good reason. In most iterations, Mary Jane is a better fit for Peter Parker, but Black Cat is superior for Spider-Man. Altogether, it's a captivating tug-of-war that shows the struggle of balancing romance and heroics. Both Mary Jane and Black Cat marry Peter in different continuities, so maybe you can just chalk this one up as a draw.
We need to take them all out, like we used to. Quiet as a cat.
Sneaky as a spider.
Number 9, Bruce Wayne, Rachel Dawes, Harvey Dent.
Man I loved. A man who vanished. He never came back at all.
This love triangle was one of the central storylines of Chris Nolan's The Dark Knight trilogy. Bruce cared deeply for Rachel, who told him that they could not be together until he retired as Batman. Complicating the issue was Rachel's relationship with Harvey Dent, who would ask Rachel to marry him. Torn between two men, Rachel eventually chooses Harvey.
I need to be honest and clear. I'm going to marry Harvey Dent. I love him, and I want to spend the rest of my life with him.
This love triangle was exploited by the Joker, however, who, spoiler alert, kidnapped both Harvey and Rachel, resulting in Rachel's tragic death and Harvey's transformation into Two-Face. Number 8, Thor, Jane, Sif.
Thank you.
Jane Foster.
He's tall, blonde, handsome, and a god. It's no wonder Thor was a popular target for the ladies like Jane Foster, a nurse from Earth, and the beautiful goddess Sif from Asgard. Thor intended to marry Jane, but Odin forbade it on the grounds that she was a human. When given the chance to become an Asgardian goddess, Jane failed the test, which caused Thor to reunite with Sif.
Thank you for your sword and for your counsel, good lady Sif.
There exists little animosity between the two women, however, with Sif actually saving a dying Jane on one occasion. Number 7, Donatello, April O'Neil, Casey Jones.
And then there's Casey Jones, a 9-year-old trapped in a man's body. He might almost be cute if it wasn't for that pig-headedness.
The main love storyline in the TMNT universe is between vigilante Casey Jones and news reporter April O'Neil. While their relationship is on and off at times, they are eventually married and have a child together.
Babe, you look...
Whoa! Easy, killer.
In most versions, April works alongside the Turtles, and while they are close, they have a strictly platonic relationship. In the 2012 animated series, however, Donatello has a crush on April from the moment he sees her, creating tension between him and Casey. Unfortunately for Donatello, April is oblivious to his feelings.
Thanks, Donnie, for always being there, even when I didn't want you to be.
Number 6, Cyclops, Jean Grey, Emma Frost.
Scott, I keep feeling something terrible is about to happen.
Scott Summers and Jean Grey have one of the more messy relationships in all of comics, and the arrival of Emma Frost only complicated the issue. Upon joining the X-Men, Emma initially provided Scott with marriage counseling, but their relationship quickly turned into a psychic sexual affair. Jean uses her telepathic abilities to discover Emma and Scott in bed together, in their minds, and uses her Phoenix powers to shatter Emma's diamond form. After Jean's death, however, Emma and Scott begin a legitimate relationship.
Jean!
Oh.
I'm sorry. I thought you were...
I'm a telepath, Scott, I know.
Number 5, Dr. Manhattan, Silk Spectre 2, Night Owl.
Dan, John sees a lot of things, but he doesn't see me.
What many consider to be the greatest comic book of all time also featured an enticing love triangle between John Osterman, Laurie Jaspesic, and Dan Dreiberg, also known as Dr. Manhattan, Silk Spectre 2, and Night Owl respectively.
You want to ask me to go to dinner with you? Like we used to.
Attracted to the godlike Manhattan almost instantly, Laurie continued on a relationship with him after she retired.
Hero, weapon, linchpin of our national security, deterrent to nuclear war.
As Manhattan became less and less connected with humanity, however, the relationship between the two deteriorated, and Laurie eventually became romantically involved with Dan. At the end of the comic, Laurie and Dan are still together.
Wow, that sounds like a date.
Number 4, Sue Storm, Reed Richards, Submariner.
Beauty. Look
Look out, sis!
As headlining members of Marvel's so-called First Family, Sous Storm and Reed Richards are supposed to have the perfect marriage. And for the most part, they do. At least until Namor the Submariner arrives and starts making waves. Originally introduced as a vengeful Atlantean trying to flood Earth, Namor soon forgives the surface world thanks to his burgeoning relationship with, you guessed it, Sous Storm. Despite her reservations, the Invisible Woman can't help but feel smitten towards the aquatic hero. Their taboo romance sparked what is commonly referred to as Marvel's very first love triangle. Sue can turn invisible all she wants, but there's no hiding from a legacy like that.
He does have amazing powers.
And incredible eyes. Well, I mean for a man who lives under the sea.
Number 3, Cyclops, Jean Grey, Wolverine.
This is Scott Summers, also called Cyclops.
Just when you thought the Scott-Jean relationship couldn't get any more confusing, enter Wolverine.
Oh, wait a minute. He's not coming with us, is he?
Yes.
Jean ended up cheating on Scott with Logan on more than one occasion, most notably in X-Men Forever Annual No. 1. She was a constant source of tension between Logan and Scott, which was one of the main storylines of the original X-Men movie trilogy. In that timeline, her alternate personality, the Phoenix, caused her to kill Scott, and Logan had to kill Jean. But thanks to the convenient time travel shenanigans of X-Men Days of Future Past, that was all rendered moot.
Hey, Logan. Are you okay?
You're here.
Where else would I be?
Number 2, Clark Kent, Lois Lane, Lana Lang.
Hi, Lana.
Hi, Clark.
Oh, Lana. Lois, say hello to Lana Lang, Smallville's newest gift at Metropolis.
Everyone has that person they grew up with who would go on to become their first crush. For Clark Kent, that was Lana Lang. Lana is one of the first people to learn Clark as Superman. In most Superman titles, Lana is Clark's teenage love interest before he moves on to Lois in his adult years. But some titles see her competing with Lois for Clark's affection. This is best shown in the TV series Smallville, where Clark is seen dating both Lana and Lois multiple times during different seasons.
Lana,
Yeah?
just wanted to remember this moment.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1, Peter Parker, Gwen Stacy, Mary Jane Watson. This is one of the rare love triangles that not only didn't involve an affair, but actually showed all 3 members as close friends.
Hello. I'm Gwen Stacy.
This is Mary Jane Watson.
Peter initially dated Mary Jane, which frustrated Gwen, but broke up with her because he thought she was shallow and superficial. Peter would then date Gwen until she was tragically murdered by the Green Goblin. Her death caused Mary Jane to become more serious, and after some hurdles, she ended up marrying Peter.
How come you never mentioned her? She's your lab partner? You saved her life? She thinks you're a genius and she had her polished fingernails all over you?
What's your favorite superhero love story? Let us know in the comments down below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more WatchMojo videos.
Whoa. Easy, pal.
Some things never change.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.